Hey, what's going on, everyone? This is Mitch. Good Friday morning to you all. I was able to squeeze in a quick video for you folks this morning. If you tuned in for last night's video, I mentioned that I'm on my way to Jacksonville this morning to go to the Gator Bowl in Jacksonville, Florida, watch South Carolina play Notre Dame. For you folks who've been viewing for a while know I'm a big college football fan. I'm a passionate Gamecock fan, so definitely asking for prayers for just a safe trip down there and a safe trip back. We're pretty much going to do it all in one haul. Going to go down there and then leave right after the game and get back home. I don't like to be away from my family too long, so not going to spend the night or anything like that. So definitely asking for prayers for a safe travel down 95 and then back up it. Sometimes that stretch of highway can get kind of dangerous, and there's normally a lot of traffic, really any time of the year. But appreciate that. But we're here to talk about the weather specifically for today. I want to remind you folks I will not be able to do a video tonight, just due to the fact that I'll be on the way home. But tomorrow we'll be back to the regular flow of things and these two-a-day videos, and certainly some active weather coming up right after the new year. We now have a 30% risk, upgraded from that 15% risk, to see severe weather. It's basically an enhanced risk at day 4, which is for Tuesday, January the 2nd, and we also have an area for day 5, which is a 15% risk added. That's basically a slight risk, level 2 out of 5. So it's looking like it's going to at least be a 2-day event, unfortunately, and the chances are increasing, not decreasing. So we'll break that down tomorrow. We'll get very detailed, and thankfully tomorrow we'll be in these inside these short range model guidance, so we'll be able to get much more detail regardless tomorrow. But if you folks have not subscribed, certainly consider doing that. Like the video if you like it, and if you folks got anything that I can pray about or pray over, always put those in the comments so I can pray over and so others can do so too. Let's take a look at water vapor loop out here, and you see basically this area right here where it looks more white. That is basically where there's a lot of moisture in the atmosphere, and that is actually what is going on right now. There's a line of storms moving through Louisiana, and we actually look at it right now. We have severe, excuse me, we have severe thunderstorm warnings ongoing just northwest of Baton Rouge. By the time most of you folks watch this, this will be done past, but some nasty storms about to wake up a lot of people in Baton Rouge and areas of Louisiana, and this will be knocking on the doorstep of Jackson, Mississippi. We expected this morning. It's raining up here to the north too. It's just not in the view of the radar here, but this will be moving closer to New Orleans a little bit later this morning, and will continue to track through the rest of the Deep South as we work our way throughout the morning and afternoon hours. But it will probably lose some intensity as we get into this evening, but we'll certainly be watching this. But as far as watches and warnings for today, it's very active out west. This is the latest upgrade. Let's see if we can get the latest. Yeah, there was actually flood watches up, but they have been dropped for Louisiana. But if you look at this little small couple counties up here in New York State, I'm pretty sure that is due to a lot of snow melt that's going to cause some of the rivers up there and streams, creeks, whatever it may be, to probably start flooding over. And there's so much snow on the ground in some of these areas that picked up just feet of snow over the holidays that you're going to start to maybe not rapid melting, but it's going to be a quick pace of melting up here of the snow. So that mixed in with actual rain falling up here, you have these alerts for flood. So we'll get a little bit closer here. Flood watch is up for Buffalo, basically. So we need to be aware of that. It could be kind of a sneaky thing that maybe not a lot of rain is falling, but so much snow melt's going on, it can cause issues. So today you have a marginal risk. This is ongoing right now in the forecast period. This this is for Jackson, Mississippi, Mobile, Alabama, New Orleans. And this is knocking on the doorstep of Jackson this morning, but as we get into the morning, later in the morning hours, the early afternoon hours, it's starting to knock on the door of Mobile and get into western areas of the panhandle of Florida. There is a small tornado risk, a 2% risk of tornadoes within 25 miles in a given location. So be careful of that. Same deal with the wind risk. We got a 5% risk of damaging winds of 50 knots. That's around 55 to 60 miles per hour in this area within 25 miles in a given location. So just be aware. It's pretty active out there already this morning, but hopefully it's not doing any major damage or anything like that. But as far as the southeast today, as we're working our way, HRRR model is doing pretty well picking up on this. We'll continue to work our way throughout the morning hours. This will begin to work its way through Mississippi and southeast Louisiana. We get into about lunchtime. This is clearing the entire central to southern portions of Mississippi. I just expect good old rain up here in these sections of the country. But down here, the further south you work, the more you work into some ingredients for severe weather, just more low-level moisture to work with. But this will start slamming areas of southern Mississippi and then knock on the door of Mobile, Alabama sometime around 1 to 3 p.m. this afternoon, and then start to work its way really close to Birmingham. But I think it'll just be good old-fashioned heavy rain up in Birmingham. But if you're in Montgomery, point south into the western panhandles of Florida, you certainly could get some strong storms. But as this works its way throughout the evening hours, it starts to get into kind of southwest Georgia, deeper into across the central panhandle of Florida. It'll start to weaken and diminish, and the severe weather threat will really begin to drop overnight. So, though there will be another severe weather threat tomorrow, we'll talk on that tomorrow morning, but it's not a big threat. But we'll look at how much rain can fall over the next 24 hours. And with this line of storms, 1 to as much as 2 to 2.5 inches of rain can fall in this area. New Orleans and Baton Rouge could pick up a couple inches of rain very quickly this morning and then early this afternoon. Same thing for southern areas of Mississippi, Mobile, Alabama, the western panhandle of Florida. I could pick up, 1 to 2 inches of rain. It's certainly possible. And then there'll be some rain to watch out for in these areas of the Mississippi Valley and Ohio Valley. So we'll watch out for that, but not a big deal at all, guys, and there's only a marginal risk for flooding up here. The slight risk actually got dropped, but there is a slight risk, which is at least a 15% risk of flash flood guidance being met within 25 miles in any given location. So just be aware of that, but not a huge deal. It's not like you're going to have huge flooding issues or anything, but you never know if your area just picks up 3 or 4 inches of rain in a very short amount of time. So we go up here into the northeast. You're going to have some snow melt today, some showers working its way throughout the state of Ohio, southern Michigan, Detroit areas. Some showers through Pennsylvania, but no widespread rain. As we get into this evening, you get more widespread rain. It starts to move into Indiana, southeast Michigan, northwest Ohio. And then as we get into the overnight hours, this begins to work closer into the northeast. But a lot of rain falling in these areas of southeast Canada. That has a lot of snowpack on the ground. So this is not going to be winter weather. I think this pink right here on Erie, Lake Erie, is picking up on just maybe some ice cover. Not sure what it's picking up on. I'm not sure. I'll be honest with you. I'm not going to lie to you. I'm not sure why it's showing pink just specifically over Lake Erie. Maybe areas of the lake is frozen over, so it's trying to account for some frozen lake areas. But the last thing I heard is the western areas of Lake Erie were beginning to freeze over, but we'll see. South central U.S., this will begin to clear out the area. We just talked about these storms, but an area of showers will pivot through western Texas into central Texas throughout the afternoon and evening hours, but it's not going to be a big deal. A little piece of energy will re-amplify probably tomorrow and bring some storms, waking up tomorrow morning for Mississippi and Alabama. We'll have to see how severe they will be, but I'm not expecting a big deal out of that until the overnight hours. North central U.S., besides this rain I just talked about, this is going to be a rainy day for areas of southern Illinois. No snow with this. And then Indiana, most of the state of Indiana will be dealing with at least soggy conditions as we get into the afternoon hours, especially central Indiana. And then this moves into Ohio a little bit later. But the rest of everybody, pretty quiet. Nobody Minnesota, Wisconsin, UP of Michigan, Dakotas, Iowa, Nebraska. Not a whole lot going on out here. Pretty quiet weather as we get into Saturday morning. Temperatures today, still cold. You're still a lot below freezing up here where you should be a lot below freezing this time of year. That's typical for late December. Kind of just soggy weather. It's going to be a cold rain in areas of Illinois, Indiana, just 40s and 50s. But as soon as you get really up under this ridge, areas of New York State could get into the 60s today. Just south of Ontario could get into the 60s. Rapid snow melt already began yesterday, but it will really pick up today. Boston can get into the 50s. New York City, Washington, D.C. will probably clip 60 today. And widespread 60s and even 70s potentially in the Carolinas, and definitely widespread 60s and 70s in Georgia. I'll be in Jacksonville, Florida today. Supposed to get up to about the mid to upper 70s. I'm looking forward to it. I really am. If it's not going to snow or do anything, I like cold weather, but it might as well just be warm so you can get outside, get some of that sunshine out there that we all love and need. But the deep south, very warm, 60s and 70s, and probably pretty soggy too. It's going to be a little bit of some humid air out there for sure. But that's pretty much it today. Florida will really start to warm up into the 80s. I mean, Miami will probably hit 80. Tampa will get close to 80. Orlando close to 80. So if you're visiting in these bowl games this weekend in Florida, it's actually going to be pretty warm weather. So, it's not going to be one of those. Trust me, I went to, I think it was the Capital One Bowl in 2012 into 2013. South Carolina played Nebraska. It was really warm when we first got there, and then a cold front moved through about the middle of the trip, and it just felt like I was still in South Carolina in the middle of January. It was very cold. It actually moved through right in the middle of the game. I remember it hitting. But anyways, for day 4, for Tuesday, we now have that orange setting up. As we get into tomorrow, this will turn into an enhanced risk, which would actually stay orange. Remember, you have a general risk of thunderstorms, which isn't a threat level really. It's just a general risk of thunderstorms. Marginal is the dark green. Slight is the yellow. Orange is the enhanced. Red is the moderate. And then the infamous high risk, which is pink. We haven't seen that in some time. And well, in the last couple of years, we did not get it this year. But you have an enhanced risk basically at day 4. And this includes Little Rock, Shreveport, almost to Memphis. But one thing this is new, but day 5, we now have a severe risk for our Wednesday, which is January 3rd. And this includes Jackson, Mississippi, Birmingham, Montgomery, Mobile, Alabama, almost to Atlanta, almost all the way to Huntsville, Alabama. So there will be severe weather now expected. We just don't know the severity level of it for Wednesday. We'll talk about this tomorrow. I'm not going to have a video update tonight, and regardless, tonight, we're still not in reliable short-range model guidance, so I wouldn't say the video would be useless, but it's like I would just be repeating the same information that I've been repeating over the last few videos talking on this. But that's all I got, guys. Definitely asking for prayers for safe travels, and I appreciate that. It goes a long way. Thank you so much. I love the family atmosphere we have here. But I hope you guys have an awesome last Friday of the year. Enjoy it. Hopefully this is the start of at least a 3-day weekend for some folks. And God bless all y'all. And I'll talk to you tomorrow.